Serving the role as a grump, I want to start with a simple figure. In Detroit in 2009, only 3% of the low-income 8th graders scored proficient in math. Okay? That means that only around 130 8th graders in the city who are low income were scoring at grade level. And that is a shockingly low number. That is a painfully low number. I think that's a number that we really need to keep in mind, because I certainly agree that our most advantaged students could do better. I applaud the work that we've been seeing up here, but it is really important to keep in mind that our disadvantaged students are lagging way, way, way behind. I want to take just a moment to a few methodological issues that I have with John's work. I mean, so one, when Fordham released the work, and as best as Checker has sort of vacillated on this, they did say that it raises... Vacillate?
Keep going.
Raises some important questions. Might this study raise some questions about No Child Left Behind? And the fact of the matter is, the study does not look at before No Child Left Behind and after No Child Left Behind, so it is very hard to say that the study has anything to do about No Child Left Behind. In fact, it could be true that this has actually gotten better. I mean, we simply don't know. The data in this particular research project doesn't shed a light on this particular topic, in my opinion. I think the second point, and I think in some ways a more important point, and John alluded to it, and actually used the word, John alluded to it saying this is not dramatic, but very specific, when you look at the data, even those students who lost altitude, right, in our commercial, those students who are plummeting for, looked like 3 or 4 seconds, didn't actually plummet that far, right? So they dropped below the 90th percentile, but most of them stayed at the 70th percentile. In other words, this is a non-finding finding. So, in my opinion, the most important finding of the study, actually, is the findings that weren't really particularly highlighted. So high-achieving students are underrepresented in high-poverty schools, this study found. I think that's really quite interesting. The proportion of high achievers in high-poverty schools also declined over time. Again, I think an important finding. And by my grumpiness up here is not to say that this was by any means a sort of a terrible study. I mean, it's really interesting. I think many of the findings of it are things that are worthy of discussion. It is just what we're trying to say with that particular study. But then one moves sort of more broadly to the other achievement gap. By that, I do not mean the gap between the two teeth on the promotional brochure. I mean, I want to talk about high-achieving students, whether they've been hurt. Okay? And when you look at the data, the nation's top students have actually been gaining ground in a number of areas. I think it would be great if we had this conversation and we had seen some plummeting in high achievement, in the performance of high achievement students, but we've actually seen the reverse, right? In 8th grade math, from 2000 to 2009, we've seen a 3 percentage point jump. There's also been a jump in the percentage of 4th graders scoring at the advanced level on that math exam.